Today I'll be explaining Final Destination, Bloodlines, the story that reveals the origins of Death's curse. Let's dive in.
The movie starts in 1969. We meet Iris and her boyfriend Paul. Paul tells Iris he has a surprise for her. He covers her eyes with a blindfold and leads her forward. When he finally removes it, Iris is shocked. In front of her is the Skyview restaurant, the tallest restaurant in the world, 494 feet high. Today is its grand opening. Paul is super excited, and Iris is happy too, but she feels a little nervous. Still, they go inside. Outside, a young boy is stealing coins from a fountain. A guard warns him, saying it brings bad luck. The boy shrugs and walks away. Inside, Iris and Paul enter the elevator, the tallest one ever built. The elevator operator greets the guests and brags that the restaurant was finished 5 months earlier than planned, which seems suspicious. When they reach the top, Paul goes to confirm their table, but the receptionist says there's no booking. Paul is upset. Iris, feeling sick, excuses herself to the restroom. She feels like she might throw up. Meanwhile, at the bar, a champagne cork flies up, hits a chandelier, and breaks off a sharp piece. That piece falls on the glass floor in the center of the restaurant, leaving a crack. At the same time, we see the building support joints shaking. Something is wrong. In the restroom, Iris meets a singer and her young son. The singer asks if Iris is pregnant. Because she looks it, Iris admits she is 2 months pregnant, but hasn't told Paul yet because she's afraid. That explains her sickness earlier. The woman gives her a blessing and goes back to her son. Later, Iris returns to Paul. He takes her to an open space and suddenly proposes. Iris is overjoyed and finally tells him about the pregnancy. She expects him to be upset, but instead, he is extremely happy. He even puts a ring on her finger. It's a bit tight, but Iris says it's perfect. Outside, the same boy from before is now throwing coins down from the building. A guard warns him again, saying a coin from this height could kill someone, but the boy doesn't listen. One coin gets sucked into a vent and stuck in a fan. Back in the restaurant, Iris and Paul are dancing with the crowd, but the crack in the glass floor is spreading. At the same time, the coin from the fan bounces out, hits a pipe, and releases flammable gas. As Iris and Paul dance, Iris suddenly feels a bad sensation. She steps away from the glass floor just in time. The glass shatters. People fall nearly 500 feet to their deaths. Iris tries to save Paul, but he slips too and he's gone. Chaos erupts. The building support joints snap. Fire spreads everywhere. A woman catches fire and runs near the gas vent. It explodes, making the flames worse. Iris barely escapes, but she watches as the singer she met earlier burns alive. Before dying, the woman pushes her son into a box to protect him. The destruction continues. Glass sections collapse. The building begins to bend. Some people survive for a short time near a window, but then the chandelier's coin finally falls. It smashes into a piano, sending it flying into the glass window and killing even more people. Some guests try to escape by using the elevator, but the elevator is too heavy with people. The cables snap and it falls. Everyone inside is crushed instantly. Only the coin boy manages to reach the ground floor, but then the grand piano falls and crushes him flat. And the same coin he kept throwing, it lands right back in the fountain. Maybe bad luck really does exist. Now, only Iris is barely alive. She finds the singer's son and tries to save him, but they both slip and are left hanging off the edge. Iris's finger gets caught where Paul's ring is stuck. The ring hooks on the ledge, cutting her finger badly. She can't hold on, and both of them fall. Then the scene changes to the present day. We meet a young woman named Stephanie. She's been having terrible nightmares about Iris and the disaster from the past. These dreams are affecting her mind. Finally, she tells her friend about them. Stephanie explains that Iris is her grandmother, someone she has never met. But why does she keep seeing her in these dreams? To find answers, Stephanie goes to her dad's house, where he lives with her younger brother, Charlie. Stephanie's mom, Darlene, Iris's daughter, left her when she was only 10 years old and never returned. Stephanie asks her dad about Iris, but he doesn't tell her much. So she takes Charlie to her Uncle Howard's place, where she also meets her cousins. She asks Howard about Iris and the disaster, but he insists nothing like that ever happened. According to Howard, Iris just went crazy. He says she began locking people up, so her children were taken away from her. But even then, she wouldn't stop. She kept sending strange letters and creepy drawings. Eventually, the family cut all ties with her. Howard warned Stephanie to stay away from Iris, but Stephanie doesn't listen. She finds Iris's old letters and tracks her address. Finally, she reaches Iris, who now lives alone in a bunker far from the city. Iris spends her time watching security cameras. When Stephanie talks to her through the camera, Iris tells her to come inside but leave her phone and keys behind. Stephanie agrees. Inside, they start talking. Iris reveals something shocking. Those nightmares Stephanie keeps having aren't just dreams. They are visions of what Iris saw that day. The truth is, the disaster at the beginning of the story didn't actually happen. It was a vision of the future. Iris saw it before it came true and used that vision to save everyone. But there was a problem. Death didn't like that. Because in this world, death isn't just an idea. It's a real force, a being that collects souls. In Death's plan, everyone in that restaurant was supposed to die, but Iris stopped it. So Death came back from later, one by one, and even for Iris, she already lost Paul, but that wasn't enough. Over the years, Iris studied death and wrote a book, a guide explaining how death works, how it chooses its victims, and how to fight back. Now, Iris explains that death wants to erase her entire bloodline as punishment for interfering with fate. That's why Stephanie is having these nightmares. It's death's way of marking her. Iris was the one who had the vision. She saw the disaster before it happened. She saved everyone, but by doing that, she cursed her own family. Now, all her bloodline is doomed, but Stephanie doesn't believe any of this. She gets upset and tries to leave. Iris begs her to take the book, saying it's the only way to save their family. But Stephanie still thinks it's nonsense and storms out. Iris knows what will happen. She knows stepping outside means death. To prove she's telling the truth, Iris walks outside, and just as she expected, she is killed instantly. The story cuts to Iris's funeral. After many years, Darlene, Stephanie's mother, returns. But Stephanie is not happy. Darlene left her as a child and never came back, and Stephanie has never forgiven her. The next day, Stephanie stays home while the rest of the family goes to a party at Uncle Howard's place. Even Darlene shows up there, but she refuses to rejoin the family. At home, Stephanie remembers Iris's words. She opens the book Iris left her. Inside the book is that same coin, the one that caused the Skyview disaster. The book is full of details about different ways people could die. Car crashes, trucks with logs. The truth, everyone who survived Skyview passed down a curse. Death is hunting all their families. All of it started with Iris saving people that day. Back at the party, kids are jumping on a trampoline. Underneath it, there's a sharp garden tool. Darlene notices and removes it. Maybe she felt something. Then Stephanie arrives, already sensing danger. But it's too late. The bottle falls onto a pump. The pump starts, water flows into a pipe, and it knocks tools loose. A drink falls and breaks, cutting Howard's foot. He slips, then the tools hit a lawnmower. The mower turns on, rushes forward, and rips into Howard's face. He dies instantly. After Howard's funeral, Stephanie studies the book. She finds the name JB, someone who once met a survivor. Stephanie explains to her family. They should have died in Skyview, but Iris changed fate, and now death has taken them one by one. But nobody believes her. They think she's crazy, just like Iris. That night, Eric works alone in his tattoo shop. Loud music shakes the table. A chemical bottle spills. A chain near the fan snaps and hooks onto his nose ring. He struggles, but the chemicals catch fire. The shop bursts into flames. The next morning, Stephanie rushes to save Eric, but he's fine. He escaped. She warns him, but he laughs it off. Julia also arrives, and neither of them believe her. Then something happens. Julia is hit by a ball, falls into a trash bin, and a garbage truck lifts the bin. Before anyone can help, Julia is crushed. Stephanie realizes death is changing the order. Now it can kill anyone, anytime. But then Eric's mother reveals the truth. Eric isn't Howard's real son. He was born from an affair. That's why he survived. Julia was Howard's firstborn. So she died. Eric is heartbroken. But now the focus is on saving Bobby. Stephanie explains the book shows a formula, almost like math, to cheat death. To solve it, they need JB. Darlene says Iris wrote about him. He works at a hospital. At the hospital, they meet JB. Fans know him. Some thought he was death itself, or maybe an angel. But the truth is, he's the son of the singer from Skyview, the woman Iris saw in her vision. He survived. Later, he met Iris, and together they studied death. JB explains there are two ways to escape. 1. Kill someone, so their life transfers to you. 2. Die but be revived by doctors. Then death thinks it already claimed you, and you're off the list. He says it worked once. A girl died and came back, and death skipped her. But now JB has cancer again, and he just wants to live out his last days. Stephanie thinks about what to do. Meanwhile, Eric makes a plan. He tells Bobby about his peanut allergy. If he eats peanuts, he'll almost die. Then they'll revive him and cheat death. They buy peanut biscuits, but they get stuck in a vending machine. Eric shakes it, cracks the glass, and pulls a snack out. Later, they go into an MRI room, but the machine pulls on Eric's piercings. A chair flies into him, crushing him. Bobby is still alive until that same spring from a vending machine flies into the MRI and cuts Bobby's head in half. 2 more deaths. Stephanie is broken. She realizes cheating death only makes things worse. She, Charlie, and Darlene decide to move into Iris's old cabin, the place she survived for years. But after they arrive, danger returns. Stephanie's seatbelt jams. A gas tank explodes. Darlene is crushed by falling debris and killed. Stephanie nearly dies underwater, but Charlie pulls her out. For a moment, she was dead, then revived. So they think maybe the cycle is broken, but they are heartbroken over losing their mom. Later, Stephanie and Charlie visit their dad. Nearby, a woman picks up the same coin again. It slips into train tracks. At that moment, a train hits the coin. It derails, crashes, and wooden logs break free. Stephanie and Charlie try to run, but the logs fall on them, crushing them. The end.